Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am your Ice Dragon, Rayron VR. Got another manga spotlight for you guys today. This is Komi Can't Communicate, Volume 2. Let's take a look at the back here and see what we got. So it's by Viz Media. Shonen Sunday, it is rated T14. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got on the back. So, socially anxious high school student Shoka Komi's greatest dream is to make some friends, but everyone at school makes her crippling social anxiety for cool reserve. Luckily, she meets Tadano, a timid wallflower who decides to step out of his comfort zone in order to help her achieve her goal of making 100 friends. It's time for the national health exam at Itan High, and excitement of eye exams and height measurements have found the floor fanned the flames for competition. For the unremarkable Makura Yadanu, she's determined to beat the class idol Komi in the health test, and Komi's total oblivious. There we go. I can read to their impassioned duel just feeds Makura's determination. As the epic battle heats up, how will Komi handle her first rival when she barely makes her first friends or barely made her first friends? So, with that, that's kind of the premise. Um, Overall, this volume kind of a fill. I don't want to say it's a filler, but it was more of an introduction with setting up all of our characters. We meet several new faces to this. We meet Yami, and we also meet Ikanaka. I apologize, these are all Japanese names. I already struggle with English as it is, so names are always an issue for me. So, yeah, we kind of get more backstory with Tadano, and we continue to progress this kind of plot that was introduced in Volume 1, which is Komi trying to meet 100 friends, considering that she has the social anxiety issues. And we continue to build upon that. So overall, it's another setup type of volume. It was okay. I didn't have too many issues with this, with the exception that there's something interesting at the end of the book that kind of hints that there's going to be a dual plot, and I'll have to go into spoilers in order to kind of talk about that a little bit more. But with that, if you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to watch this video at a later time. Feel free to come back, of course. And let's go ahead and dive into Volume 2. So, at the beginning of the manga, we kind of see this competition. We're introduced to a new character by the name of Yadanu. And basically, she's very competitive and she wants to do better than Komi. And so this is the beginning of the year, so they have a lot of these medical exams, they have gym examinations, and it's basically became like a little contest between the two, and naturally Komi wins. And then after that, we kind of go into a whole bunch of other short stories, so we'll try to go through this here as best we can. And so for the first time, we see friends going over to Komi's house. We've got that Tendanu and Jima. They go over and they just visit Komi's house for the first time, and it was really something that you get to see a lot of firsts with Komi, because again, she's not really that social, so she lived a very introverted life, and so she's not used to having these friends over. The mom was surprised that she had friends coming over, wasn't really expecting it, and we start to see like them going through photo albums, and Jimmy's just all up in Komi's bed and everything. So it's kind of interesting just seeing a journey of firsts when it comes to this story. After we're done with that, we get introduced to a new character, Yami, and let's just say she is a very obsessive stalker psycho type of personality. She's very obsessive with Komi, and I'll just leave it at that. It just gets way over the top for me a little bit, but we go into this arc of she wants to just really get really close to Komi, falling in love, all these other things, but it's very comedy type of display that we see, and it gets really psychopathic. So it goes down this particular chapter that Yami actually ties up Tendanu, because she starts to realize that, oh, there could be some competition between her and Komi. So essentially, Yami ties up Tendanu, and I was like, what is going on here? It's like he she was actually able to kidnap him and tie him up in her like closet. So yeah, it gets kind of weird. And then for the sake of the plot and the story, Komi and Jimmy come over to Yami's place, and Jimmy, being the snoop that she is, discovers that Tendano is in the closet, and yeah, it gets kind of crazy. And the other two kind of realize that Yami was definitely crazy, and she begs Komi to be her friend. And there's actually a interesting little panel here that I kind of want to show, which really struck with me a little bit. And let me see here. So basically, Yami wants to be Komi's friend, and then at the end of the day, she makes it very clear that she writes on her notepad, "I decide who my friends are," which is a very powerful statement. And as you can see by her surprised face, that she got heavily rejected by Komi. And it's a very powerful message, and one that's definitely resonated me. Even with social anxiety, you can still communicate very effective and powerful phrases like that. And so it kind of definitely stuck with me after that, because it's true. You know, you choose your own friends, you choose your own battles, you choose your own life, career, whatever. It's just very, very good. So after that little incident, Comey talks to Tendano saying, "Do you still want to be my friends?" I mean, you can see that, we've got these psychopaths trying to, she felt really bad that his life was in danger because of the kidnapping and so forth, what I would call kidnapping. But Tendano basically tells that quote right back to her. It's like Tendano says, "Hey, I also choose my own friends, and I choose to be your friend as well." And so again, another very powerful message. And I've never seen that before, that they're able to use the same quote twice. I mean, that's very effective writing in this, that you're able to see it's a very powerful message used twice. I've never seen that before in any other storytelling. So I very, very cool to see that. And then we start to see kind of, I think that was the pivotal moment where we're starting to see this dual plot start to happen in the story. And kind of spoiler alert, I'm up to volume 19 of reading this, because I definitely binge read the heck out of this story because it got me into the characters really well. And we're starting to see this dual plot. So as we progress through the story, we see little snippets of, there's going to be some romantic elements, because before we're just building up the characters, and maybe not, they have this love interest for each other. But then you start seeing more and more and more snippets of Tadano and Komi really starting to, there could be something there of a relationship. But that's more near the end, so we'll continue on here. So we go back to school. Yandanu, or not Yandanu, Yami meets up with Komi and Jimmy and Tendanu. And then basically she apologizes for kidnapping him, being a psychopath and so forth. It was taken very lightly, but Comey basically accepts the apology, and then nothing really happens after that. So again, there's a lot of comedy with that, but it kind of left me scratching my head. It's like, you just kidnapped him. You would think that there would be some serious repercussions because of it, but again, that's just me being a nitpick over it. But overall, all is good, and they continue on with more of these stories. So we see more chapters, just seeing the growth, character growth, and the character progressions of Komi. And we start to see her and her friends go out eat ramen. Komi tries to tell jokes while she's at school, and then there's a scene near the very end that Tindanu and Komi have to walk in this rain, and then they have to share an umbrella. And you guys can get the hints that there's a lot of things happening. The plot's driving them together, essentially, but then they're shy about it. So it kind of leads to the point of dual plots. So Komi has a dual plot, I don't want to say problem, but it's like it's trying to balance between two, and sometimes it gets muddied in that. And it'll be more apparent in later volumes, but we start to see it heavily here in volume. Well, I don't want to say heavily, but we start to see it emerge here in volume 2, especially with that umbrella scene. It's more of, the way I can best describe it is that you're falling in love with these characters. You basically, quote unquote, want to ship them to hook up essentially. And it's more of the carrot on a stick for the reader reading the story. Now, sometimes that's a good thing, but other times, if you don't have the payoffs, if you don't allow the reader to take a bite of that carrot, like if you don't progress them in a relationship, it can be very annoying for a reader. And one manga that has a serious problem with that is Rent a Girlfriend, because I've been seeing everyone say that, yeah, it has that type of issues. And so that's something that I'm also feeling the stress about this, because you want them to get together, you want them to progress in the relationship and advance towards it, but then just when you think they're just getting ready to, something else happens. And then just when you think something's gonna happen, it doesn't. So it's that carrot on a stick approach when it comes to romance. Um, so anyways, they kind of progress in a relationship. I don't want to say relationship, but just more in the getting to know each other. And then by the end of it, we're introduced to another character, Naka. Man, I don't even know how to say this. Uh, Nakanaka. I do apologize, but anyways, we're introduced to this new character. And she's basically, the best I can say is she's definitely a gamer, a role player, type of individual personality. And we get a little bit more backstory about this character, as basically treats Komi like a queen in like a D&D universe type of thing. But that's pretty much it we get from her. She'll play more important roles a little bit later. But then it goes into another chapter. We see Tendano's backstory, that he tries to be a I don't know what I can say about it. He tries to be a really um serious individual, and he tried to come across to the ladies as the ladies' man essentially, but quickly realized that it wasn't working for him. And then we get the more timid, shy, normal type of Tendano that we get in the story. And then after that, they go on a clothes shopping competition, seeing who can provide a new clothes for Komi, and obviously Tendano wins. So again, we're getting that more elements of, hey, Tendano knows the style of Komi. And later on in the story, we get Komi gets a haircut, and then by the end of the story, Tendano basically is the only one of all the friends that realizes, oh, you got a haircut. And then it's like there's more pieces of evidence that, yeah, you're starting to see this romance start to bloom between these two. But again, it's not really fully carried out. So again, the carrot on a stick approach. I'm going to be talking about that a lot through this series. So yeah, overall, I do like the story. Again, we're getting more foundational elements to our characters. Between Tendano, Komi, and then Jimmy, we're introduced to even more characters, because again, the first goal was to give Komi 100 friends, but now in Volume 2, we start to see dueling plots where, yeah, we're going to try to get her to 100 friends, but then we're going to start to present a secondary one, which is, okay, the relationship between Tendano and Komi are going to start to grow because of that. So we see that a lot starting here in Volume 2. So with that, guys, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this. Thank you guys so much for listening and talking about Volume 2 of Komi Can't Communicate. If you have any manga suggestions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe. If you feel free to support my work over on rayronvr.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Wing hugs to all you wonderful people.